Imagine the cold, dark power of taking a 2-year-old foster child and strapping them down in a head gurney and sliding them into a big radiation tank and hitting them with 50,000 times the safe level of radiation. Many children in U.S. tests died on the gurneys. They will murder you and your family with extreme pleasure. As soon as they get their system in place, and as soon as they think they've got the cops ready to carry it out, thank God they're not ready and they haven't been able to turn them yet. But if they have a big enough terror attack, they will accept it and go along with it. They want to unleash this type of hell on us like they did in China, and like they did in Russia, and like they did in Nazi Germany, like they did in Rwanda, like they did in Turkey to the Armenians. I am not going to sit here and take this anymore. Let me tell you something, police, because you're where the rubber meets the road. I don't even blame you, but you're where the rubber meets the road. You better not laugh and giggle in your squad car. You better go research Bayer Pharmaceutical and what I told you. You better go research the blood product coming out of Arkansas and Texas. That's just one of the famous cases, so I mentioned Arkansas. It was all 50. You better go and research what they're putting in the vaccines they give you. They don't tell you what's in your water, do they? They don't care about you. Why do I get so mad? How would you not get mad? Cold-blooded murderers strapping 2- and 4- and 5-year-olds down and frying them so hard they die in an hour? Some they just hit with 10,000 times, 5,000 times, 1,000 times just to study the little kids. And you ought to go through the files. You go to the major federal websites, they'll have tens of thousands of files on foster kids they'd take. And they'd have the foster child when they were 2 because the mother was poor and they said she couldn't take care of them. And the child's got a cleft palate but got a good mind. And they take that child and they test on them for 20, 30 years till they're 40 years old. And you look at their records and they've been through thousands of god-awful pesticide tests and tests pulling their teeth out and tests cutting into their brains and tests you just can't even imagine. You don't know how evil these people are. You don't have any capacity to even deal with it. We're all dead. You understand that? As soon as they get their system in place, they're going to start spraying our whole cities. They got helicopters on standby. Declassified Sunshine Project 2000 got that release from Congress. I'm sick of these murderers getting away with it. And I'm sick and tired of scumbag schools and scumbag newspapers and scumbag television getting up there from coast to coast, border to border, telling you it's the law. You got to take their vaccines. They're a bunch of criminals. They're a bunch of scum. They wrongfully kick these kids out to force them and get them into the system. Wrongfully, criminally, then hop them up and inject them with their death. I got people all around me. There are people across the street at the coffee shop. About half of them I know have got cancer. There are 2 people working in my office. Both their girlfriends have got cancer. I mean, serious cancer. I'm mad, man. They're 20-something years old. I'm sick of it. I'm not going to sit here and take it anymore. They eased you into this water when it was nice and cool, and they've been turning that heat up real slow, froggies. And I'm sitting here on the edge of the pan, it's burning my feet, and I'm trying to reach down to you, and I'm a little fat little froggy telling you, get out of there, froggies, get out of there. And you look up at me and you giggle and you snicker at me, and I'm watching you boil, and I'm watching your eyes go red, and I'm watching some of the froggies sink under the water and boil to death. And I'm watching them grab people's kids, and I'm watching the war, and I'm watching the DU and the troops coming back and dying, and I'm watching the illegal aliens running all over us, and the wages plunging, and the dollar dying, and everything else coming down and happening around us because a bunch of psychopathic killers run the world, and you won't wake up from their programming and their brainwashing to realize what they're doing. So you just remember this, cops, when your 30-year-old wife's dying, 'cause it seems they've targeted women more than men, and women tend to go get more shots and believe in the medical care system more. And I've looked at statistics and found out women on average are taking about double the vaccines of men. There's direct correlations here. I just tell you what, when your kids are dying of leukemia when they're 3, and you look at all the kids dying on your streets from the shots and from the stuff they're drinking and everything else, maybe then you're going to wake up, officer. Maybe you're going to wake up. I pray it doesn't come to that for you and your family. I pray you listen to me and don't give them the shots so your son or daughter survives. And I want you to join us and realize you're under enemy attack. We'll be right back.